What is up, everyone? 412 Sports Cards here today, back again with another video, and man, it's been a long time. It has been a very long time since we've recorded. We have a little bit of a suspect setup here. We're using a flashlight to backlight our video. We're filming when it's dark, but we're getting back to videos, guys. Appreciate all of you who watch this. It's been far too long since I posted, but I want to get back to it. Hopefully have some big, professional goals checked off my list. Some time is free more in my day for my hobbies, and this is my hobby, sports cards. Today we're going to talk about collecting in 2023. Seems a fitting way to get back into it. Haven't recorded since May. And we're going to talk about lessons learned from the hobby in my 7 years, 2016 to present. So we're back. We've got hallmarks of my original collecting, David Ortiz. And yeah, we're going to get into it. We all know 2022 was a rough year for card values, guys. Let me move this mic here a little closer. It was a bad year for card values. Things plummeted that ran in 2020 and 2021. You don't even know if the floor's in. It's a little scary, honestly, if you bought in at the peak of 2021. But with that being the case, with values falling, we don't know if they're going to keep falling. It makes it even more important that we protect every dollar that we have. Whether we're a collector or an investor, we need to think about how we're operating, streamline that process to be the most efficient and effective in today's market. So, gone are the pre-COVID days when everyone was flush with cash, inflation is high, and, we have budgets. It's not like early COVID days where we didn't go out and do activities, do social activities that took up a lot of money. This was our social life. That sounds bad, but we spent a lot of money on this stuff, and a lot of people did. But our wallets are spread in many more directions these days, and we need to think, how can we build a collection that's going to maintain value? Got 3 points today, collecting in 2023. We're going to get into them right now. Drop a like, drop a sub. Appreciate your support. So, first thing is setting a budget. Setting a budget is extremely important. It's what can allow us to, whether we're a collector or an investor, to spend money and to feel okay about the money we're spending. We cannot buy like we did in 2020 and 2021, assuming that everything retains value or goes up. Things don't only go up, guys, and we've learned that the hard way. You can't be spending money you can't afford to lose in this hobby. And that is true as an investor. If you're putting money in to invest, you obviously don't want to lose it. And it's true as a collector. If you're in this truly as a collector, you really enjoy it, you don't want to get yourself in too deep. You do not want to spend more money than you can afford to lose, because you don't want to rob yourself of the joy of this hobby. This was an expensive card, guys. I think it's Ian Book's best card. It's something that I've picked up in the intervening time since I've last talked to you guys. His Black Finite 101 Prism. I would not say this is a good card to invest in. And it's expensive. But I would never have bought this if it wasn't something I felt like I could afford to lose. I bought it with money from other cards. It keeps my budget in control. And as a collector, it helps me enjoy my collecting more, knowing that I'm not out spending money I can't afford to lose. I have a tight budget. I adhere to it. And it keeps me just able to look at my cards and enjoy them. And I don't have to worry about the financial aspects. That's a big deal. But now we're going to get into more substantive points. I think the thing to be doing in 2023 is we need to be focusing on older sets. Older sets are different from modern sets in a lot of ways. We got a good example here. This is an old card. This is a brand new card. Older sets have more collectors. It's just the nature of how old they are. They've been around for a while. There's more time for them to develop a track record, makes them safer as an investment, makes them safer as a piece of your collection. Because if you're like me, you want to collect stuff like this card. I want to collect this. I really like this triple patch from the Cup out of 10. But I also don't want it to go down in value. It would be nice if I could enjoy it and it would keep its value. I think a lot of people in cards would say that. That if we could just buy stuff and it would never go down in value, we'd be super happy. That's how I feel about this stuff. Older cards are giving you a better chance at doing that. With cards, I've usually found that the older stuff can be high quality too. So this is a pretty high quality triple patch, not super, but something like this. this Ultimate Trios out of 10. Is this out of? 4 or 10. This triple patch, Gretzky, Lemieux, Crosby. It's a really high quality card. It just looks sharp, guys. You got that foil on that Ultimate logo. Game used patches. It's just a clean looking card. This is what you get with older sets. And you don't get, if you're buying older sets, you're buying stuff like these Ultimate Trios, these patches, Gretzky, Lemieux, Crosby. This stuff could be made today. Who's to say that Upper Deck doesn't still have these jerseys? They could produce a card exactly like this. Something about having the older ones, some of the first ones produced, earlier issues of triple patches of these three guys. I feel like as a collector, it's cooler to have the older stuff. I typically like the design better, but also it's fun because it's like towards the beginning of when they did it. It's true from a value standpoint. This card was expensive. Did not fall a lot in value in 22. I don't know if it did at all. It may have gone up. Older stuff is expensive, but a lot of times I would say when I look at the card market these days, some old stuff is expensive. Vintage baseball. Vintage baseball ran and then just never quite came back down. That somehow feels more intimidating to me than something like this older patch card does. This stuff feels a little bit safer to me just because it's more scarce, more limited pieces. I really like stuff like this. Less production too. It's out of 10, but out of 10 means out of 10. It doesn't mean that we have an out of 50, an out of 99, an out of 150, an out of 200 like you do in modern sets. Keeps the value in the out of 10, right? Keeps it scarce. Plus, it's fun to collect old stuff. It's some of this stuff is locked up in PCs. It doesn't come on to the market super often. It makes it a little bit more difficult to find. Even with eBay save searches, the old stuff doesn't turn up a ton, and it's just kind of fun. But going in line with this focusing on older sets, I want to talk about my third point. Focusing on what was popular before COVID. Cards like this, they were popular before COVID. Cards like this, and I'll just out myself, were not popular before COVID. Black Prism was not popular. Parallels were not very popular before COVID. You got to keep in mind, I was doing this. I've been actively buying and selling on eBay since 2016. Parallels were not huge back then. Not at all. Autos, patches, rookies. Game-worn patches. You please, guys. I don't know if you're a collector or investor. Do not get mixed up in that not game-worn stuff. It's really a shame. It's really ruined a lot of the modern sets. I end up finding myself liking stuff like Contenders just because it's clean autos. The non-associated patches really are a big disappointment. But we should be focusing on what held value before 2020 because that's what we're moving towards. Granted, with more participants, more wax being produced than we had back then, but base rookies were never pricey. PSA 10s of cheap cards, they were never pricey. I'll be honest too. Cards like this Electrifying Crosby from 2012 Fleer Ultra or Fleer Retro, these were not pricey either. No, I'm keeping this because it's something I enjoy, but it's not something that I would be super confident in being stable price-wise. Stuff that I am more confident in. This triple patch. Even stuff like this. This blocker, game-worn blocker auto. This stuff is more timeless. It was popular before. It was popular during the run-up, and it is still popular. I know hockey wasn't necessarily collected a lot before the run-up, but you get the idea. You can apply these concepts to whatever kind of a market you're in. So we should be thinking about our budget. We should be thinking about older sets, if that's something that's appealing to you. And we should definitely be, I think most importantly, have in our mind what was popular before 2020. Because I think that's the way we're trending. Maybe if you're a collector, unless you really like some of the new stuff, maybe it's smarter to not put all of your money into it, steer a little bit clearer, and just focus on some of the older stuff that you can enjoy with a little less monetary risk. Just have fun in the hobby, guys, because that's what matters. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed. Gonna keep it under 10 minutes, but catch y'all next time, and thanks for tuning in.